Let's talk about vacancy. That's a problem. Do a lot of people that contact you have a house that's been sitting vacant?
Yes, quite a few of them are sitting vacant, and a lot of the reasons they're sitting vacant is what we were just alluding to, that because this house is yours and because it is so much superior than everybody else, that I'm willing to let it sit vacant. I've had people say that I have 3 or 4 months scheduled in my books in order to leave this property vacant. And so there is no rush to find a tenant. And especially when the market fluctuates between good and bad, it's very difficult for me at times to make an owner understand in a slow market that I know you may be accustomed to getting $1,250 a month, but we don't have anybody looking for your house right now at $1,250 a month. We're getting phone calls, but nobody's coming back, and all the applications I've seen are substandard. That $1,150 today with a qualified tenant is the same as $1,250 next month, except I don't have anybody who wants your house for next month.
Tell me, what's the difference between wear and tear and maintenance? And who's responsible for each?
Okay. And that is debatable. And it usually has the opinion is based on who has to pay. Okay. Owners think everything is maintenance, and tenants think everything is wear and tear. But we get into this debate on a regular basis. For instance, the typical leaky toilet. One of the calls we get on a regular basis that there's what you would call a ghost flush. And a ghost flush is your toilet just sits there like a regular situation, and in the middle of the night you hear it go on. You hear the whoosh and the filling of the toilet. Well, typically what that is a leaky flapper. The little flapper that holds the water in is accumulated some either slime or wear or cracking, and it is now leaking. So all tenants think that is wear and tear, but it is maintenance. It's simply flushing the toilet with the water off, pulling a small little $4 part off, going to a hardware store and showing it to the gentleman behind the counter, and replacing this little $2.98 piece.
So as a general premise, maintenance is the tenant's responsibility, correct?
Yes and no. Okay. In my office, maintenance is required of the tenant of things that you should be able to do yourself as a normal person, with basic tools, Gene, a screwdriver, a pair of pliers, a crescent wrench. So tighten up the towel bar is something your tenant should be able to do. Replacing a washer in a leaky faucet, the flapper we discussed, putting the sliding glass screen door back on, rehanging of the closet door. Small little items like that should be your tenant's responsibility, but your tenant and I are not contractors. So our lease is stated that if in the event the tenant is not able to do a repair like that, then we will supply a maintenance man with a $65 deductible. So if it's something as simple as changing a sprinkler head and it's only $25, then the tenant will be billed for $25. If it requires replacing the insides of the toilet we discussed, which is a fluid master, then the bill would be $85 and your tenant would be billed for $65 of that. Now, from time to time, that tenant is going to disagree, and he's going to think it's unreasonable. Okay, but that is what the contract written.
For the gray area, the tenant's responsibility would be the basic things like maintenance, correct?
For those things that they should be able to do themselves. Now, the larger things in life, like air conditioning, heating systems, garbage disposals that wear out, mainline sewers that clog up because of roots or trees, the refrigerator, the range oven, the dishwasher, for instance, a washer and dryer in a townhouse, those are the owner's responsibilities. Now, part of my job in taking the phone call is to make sure that we are not paying for stupid things. And stupid would be lighting your pipe light or flipping a circuit breaker button on and off, pulling spoons and rags out of garbage disposals, and Ninja Turtles do not live in sewers. Those kind of things are part of my responsibility. But also to handle the tenant in the way where we discussed it first. If, Gene, you as the tenant feel that this repair of the toilet is unreasonable, I can fight with you and we'll lose the war. What my employees are not allowed to fight. They're responsible to let you know that I'm sorry, Gene, but this is what the contract reads, and when you called and repaired, my job is to make the repair and send you the bill. If you think this is unreasonable, please correspond with me. Write me a letter, tell me your point of view and why you think it's not your responsibility, and I will review it with the owner. And we will review it with you. And if you think that the tenant should be responsible, we'll send them a letter and say they're responsible. If you want to negotiate 50-50 because they've been there 2 or 3 years and it's the right thing to do, we will. And if worse comes worse and the tenant still denies that he will pay it, then one thing I could do is just take it out of the security deposit at the end.